We're at the #1 undisputed zoo in the world, San Diego Zoo. I'm with the voice of CrossFit, Bella Martin. Let's see what we get into. I reckon we got some beavers and some giraffes today. And really, I like to say I won World's Strongest Man, which gives me the title of World's Weakest Strongest Mammal. So we're gonna take the animals that we see. We're gonna determine what strongman attribute, or what do strongmen do that this animal does, and what do CrossFitters do that this animal does. And I think we're starting with grizzly bear here. Okay, so we're starting with grizzly bear. And this one is easy for me. We hibernate going into competition. Eat all the food, get as big as possible.
I was thinking it's the guy that's always injured that shows up. He's like, I can't do that.
Yeah, terrible hair.
A freshly 34-year-old Masters athlete sitting there pissed. We've seen the Masters athletes. These are the freshly 13, 14-year-olds. Eager.
It's about as smooth as the standard strongman skin.
It's the 5 a.m.er. Bright-eyed, kind of bushy-tailed a little bit. Ready to go.
This is a CrossFitter trying to max deadlift and hold a neutral spine.
So it says, believe it or not, the Hyrax's closest living relatives are elephants.
Wow.
So it's like your mom's really fit or your dad's really fit, and then just somewhere
Yeah, something went wrong.
just didn't translate.
I think it's the person who's done strongman for so long that their joints have so much scar tissue built up you can't dissociate the hand from the wrist.
I'm sorry.
Commentate in like a National Geographic.
Bear sniffing a bone. He's a bit confused because there's no animal attached to the bone. The bear's not quite sure what the bear wants to do, but that's okay. It's because he's in captivity and hasn't had to use his bear common sense in quite a while, and here comes another slam. Brought to you by Michael Cooper.
It's not just us zoos here, so I'm gonna give it up to Scott here to explain everything that's happening over here.
All right, we'll be feeding our female giraffe here. This is Nikki, this is Harriet over here.
Oh, I love that.
Just some, oh yeah, she's a drooler. Some basic rules, you can just put it on the palm of your hand or hold it off to the side. They're gonna take it. Biggest thing is they're just not a fan of being touched. They can touch your hand. They just don't like to be pet. Oh, you can't put it in your mouth.
No?
We'll make them stronger.
Oh, there you go.
And look at the color of the tongue too. Notice how dark it is. They're browsers. So these guys out in Africa, the acacia trees, and they're these towers. They're going out there and trying to capture all sorts of browse all day. You don't want to get a sunburn on the tongue. So that is a great adaptation, right? Built-in sunblock too. And while you're feeding, the mucus or the saliva is really sticky, right? And they're eating thorny acacia, so a browse or plant material that has those big thorns, and it just unwraps it, helps protect them.
Do you understand how a dam is built? Like what that actually is?
Explain to me.
Okay, so they'll get all the sticks in the wood and whatnot. They'll stop the flow of water. Then they'll build under. And so the water flows over, but they've got an air pocket up underneath. And I'm thinking, just like we were just saying, ideal vacation right now would be sitting in a dark room. Imagine that dark room is under flowing water, and you just got this cocoon of comfort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you learn beaver facts?
I'm Canadian. Beavers have been my favorite animal for a long time. And our normal walk, excuse me, buddy, our normal dog walk, 1 year, it was literally decimated by beavers. Like every tree was coned at the top.
Really?
Yeah. They took them away from everywhere. And have you seen on TikTok the beavers that they'll have in their house?
No.
Oh, I'll have to show you.
I
It's
need
the
to be on
cutest thing
Canadian
ever.
TikTok. What
It's
is
so
this?
cute. So the beaver, like naturally, it just wants to gather anything, and so it'll like dam doors with toys, and oh, it's precious.
How cute.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite animal. Beaver time. Yeah. If you were to advise, okay, maybe not every animal is great to be a pet, but a beaver would be pretty close.
She chews through everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't
So
recommend.
I wouldn't recommend. I mean, she goes through. We have a whole team of browse specialists, so guys that know everything about wood, everything about trees, what she likes, what all of our animals like. And she burns through about 8 to 10 pounds a week.
Wow.
And so, unless
Yeah.
you have a forest nearby, then you can give her all of that.
They don't actually eat that, right? They
So they
mostly
don't.
have that urge to file their teeth.
So they do eat a part of it.
Yeah.
So they eat the cambium layer that's in between the outer bark and kind of what I call the heartwood, the harder wood that's inside.
Right.
It's where a lot of the nutrients go up and down the tree. It's kind of like the highway for most of the water and all the stuff they gather from the soil.
Yeah.
So she'll eat a part of that, and then for the most part, she's going to turn the rest of the tree into infrastructure for her dams and lodges.
And you could totally pet her. You could touch her tail, just her head. She totally is fine with it. It feels like a wet bunny. Let me move out of the way so you can get a good picture. There you go.
Are your dreams coming true?
Wow. Isn't she amazing? Make sure you feel her tail because it's like amazing. She's like almost feels like rubber. Yeah. Good job. See, she doesn't mind it. She actually enjoys tactile reinforcement by a lot of the specialists. Like she'll climb into a couple of the girls' laps.
So I'll move this. You can actually go to the front row. He's a great little ambassador for us.
Look how cute he is.
When you said any animal could hurt you, this has to be an exception to the rule.
Right?
They're so slow, yeah?
Are they really? Do they get sensitive? And look at these teeth.
Look
at those teeth.
So he actually has sizable pseudo-canids. So they're not exactly canines, but they do look like canines. So they are massive. They're designed mostly to rip apart and shred foliage, right? Leaves, twigs, some flowers. It's not going to get a lot of nutrients from all of those. So sloths, instead of deciding to eat all day long, they're like, well, if I sleep more, I can be way less active and I don't have to eat as much.
Yeah.
So some of your other herbivores, like your hoofstock, like antelope, gazelle, they just graze all day long, right?
Yeah.
Because they eat a lot of that stuff to get all the energy they need. As soon as she has him eating, she'll give you the go ahead, and you guys can pet him on his back.
Okay.
Come here.
And then you can kind of get a nice close feel of that really unique fur.
Feels like my dog.
Yeah, it kind of feels like
A little bit.
Like
Yeah,
little
it's
bit.
a little
really
coarse, right?
coarse hair. Yeah.
Like-
So those
Yeah.
are the channels that Marco was talking about that kind of the algae clings onto or kind of settles into.
What do their like pads feel like?
You can feel the back one if you want. You can feel this right
Really
here.
soft, yeah.
We'll do a nice gentle. Obviously, you might be a little
it's really
ticklish.
soft.
You don't
Yeah,
want to tickle him.
Pops out of the water. Go up and pet it, give it, and it's got bird feet and like human hands. And you give it food and like grab the food. Amazing.
That's
Absolutely
great. And this happened where? Where are you at right now?
We're at the #1 zoo in the world, San Diego Zoo.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Fran. This is great. Yeah. Beaver Knuckles. Good job. That was wonderful.
That's our time at the zoo. My life is complete in petting a beaver. That was amazing. Big highlight. Feeding giraffes is a bit weird. Great experience though. You can say you can do it, right?
Yeah. It really doesn't get better than that.
It did with the beaver,
Yeah.
but it doesn't
Justina.
get better than the beaver. Justine, yeah. We're on the Sky Tour, finishing our visit at the #1 zoo in the world. Very cool, and lots of common traits between animals and people. Amazing the things you learn. Thank you for joining us. A lovely day at the San Diego Zoo.